Hello, everyone. I'm Farida Musaddi, the co founder and CEO of Alphatech Technologies Dubai, and this is the Professionals Pulse. Alphatech Technologies operates as a technology consultancy. We're engaging with our clients to discuss project specifications within the realms of data analytics, artificial intelligence, or data driven applications. We prioritize safeguarding the most critical aspect of these applications, which is data. Ensuring data protection and security across all four fronts is paramount. To uphold data privacy, we adhere to various regulations and laws, with the guidance, of course, of the legal experts. Today, we delve deep into the intricacies of data privacy laws from a legal perspective. In an era where privacy concerns are at the forefront of the global discourse, understanding the legal framework surrounding data protection is indispensable. Our guest speaker today, a seasoned legal expert in the field, will guide us through the labyrinth of regulations, offering invaluable insights and strategies to navigate across all of these different types of ever evolving legality landscapes. Whether you're a legal professional, a business owner, or simply curious about safeguarding your digital footprint, this episode promises to be enlightening and empowering. So, let me introduce our guest speaker for today, Ms. Suman.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being a part of this meeting today and honoring us with your presence here. I hope this session will be insightful for all of you and you'll gain a lot of legal insights on data protection laws across UAE and we'll cover some parts of world as well.
So, Ms. Suman Barunani, based in Dubai, she's a seasoned legal professional with a wealth of experience in the field of technology and data protection law, holding a BA LLB from the University of Calcutta and a company secretary qualification from the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. Suman's background academically lays a solid foundation for her legal expertise. Since March 2020, she's been serving as a technology and data protection lawyer at NYK Law Firm, Dubai, UAE. In this role, she's provided invaluable counsel on data privacy and security incidents, supported incident response programs, and ensured compliance with regulatory requirements for over 50 startups. Her responsibilities advising on legal compliance, and formulating strategies for various legal cases, including rental, employment, check execution, and commercial cases. Prior to this, she also worked as a legal advisor at Gasman International Dubai, where she contributed to drafting legal documentation and supporting the day to day legal affairs of the company. With a strong focus on legal research, drafting agreements, and providing strategic legal advice, Suman's expertise is instrumental in navigating the complex legal landscape for her clients. Once again, Suman, welcome to the Professionals Pulse.
Thank you so much, Farida, for giving me this opportunity and making me a part of this event today.
Okay, so to begin with, how do data privacy laws vary between different jurisdictions, and what are the key differences to consider when operating globally?
So there are data privacy laws. If we speak about each country and jurisdiction has a separate law in itself, it will be
Correct.
not. It's not possible for me to cover all jurisdictions. We are covering basically UAE. Since we are residing here, and some portion of Europe as well, where GDPR is applicable, and US.
Okay.
Since these are the three major jurisdictions. When we speak about data protection law in UAE, it's a very recent law which has been implemented, and is effective since January 2022. It's called Federal Law Number 45 of 2021 on protection of personal data. and it is applicable to all residents, people who are staying in UAE, and it is applicable on organizations which are based in UAE, despite they handling data of people who are based in UAE or outside UAE. So an
Okay.
organization which is based in UAE, the law is compliant on them, and yeah, and then it is applicable on organizations which are based outside UAE if they're dealing with the data of people who are based in UAE.
Okay.
Apart from this, this federal law is applicable to all states in UAE, but the free zones are exempt from this law. Some of the free zones have their separate law, like DIFC has a separate law, then ADGM has a separate law. Then some
Okay.
Emirates also have their separate laws, like Dubai has a separate law on data protection. Then
Okay.
Ajman has a separate law on data protection. Then healthcare sector and banking sector, like credit cards and all these, this sector, they have a separate law. Like healthcare sector is not governed by this law, and the banking sector, like credit cards and all these they have a separate law. So
Okay.
when you talk about European Union, they have one specific law, GDPR, which is applicable throughout UAE. They don't have fragmented laws. And
Correct.
when you speak about US, they also do not have a federal law. There is a separate, each state has a separate law. And some consumer protection laws also state about data protection. So they also don't have a concise federal law which is applicable to, in the full all states. When you talk about UAE specifically, the law is very new. In fact, it's been just a couple of years it has been implemented, and the law also states about executive regulations, which will delve into details about how compliance and monitoring will be done. So, these regulations have not been implemented yet. We are waiting for the implementation. For these regulations to be implemented, and once these are implemented, then within 6 months, all companies have to make sure that they are compliant with this law. But till now, the law is in effect and enforced.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, if you talk about GDPR, which is applicable to people who are based in Europe, the law is only applicable. The law is framed in such a manner that it is only applicable for people who are residing there. So they are concerned
Okay.
more about, yeah, it's more about people who are residing there. So any organization which is processing or collecting their data, the law is applicable on them. Even if you establish a company in UAE and you are processing,
Mhm.
you are monitoring the behavior of people who are based in Europe, or you're collecting their data, then also this law is applicable on you. But
Okay.
if you have established an entity in Europe, but that entity has nothing to do with, with your the
European
collecting,
people.
with the European people or collecting the data or operations, then this law is not applicable on you. You can freely operate without being GDPR compliant. Yeah, but in UAE, it's
Okay.
vice versa. If you have an
Okay.
organization here, you have to be compliant with the law, despite you handling the data subjects with respect to UAE people or not. If you have a presence here, suppose you are dealing with people who are based in Europe, their law, you have to be compliant
Mhm.
with UAE data protection law as well. So this is one
Okay.
of the key difference. Yeah, the organizations here have to be compliant with the data protection law, despite they handling any kind of, they're processing any kind of data with respect to UAE people. Okay, data subjects
Correct.
based in UAE. Um, with respect to US, they have certain. I'll deal with one law which is based in California, which is
Okay.
called California Privacy Act.
Mhm.
Um, which states that a profit organization which is based in California will which has a certain threshold, which is 25 million or above. This law is applicable on them, or any organization which is selling, receiving, or the data of Californian residents 100,000 or above. It is applicable on them, or which is making a revenue of 50% or more of the revenue by selling or receiving any, dealing with the data of Californian residents. Then this law is applicable on them. Then you
Okay.
speak about another major difference, like data breach, which is a very
Mhm.
important thing which is happening nowadays, because data
Correct.
nowadays is not secure at all.
Yes, it's
Because a lot of
very
companies,
vulnerable.
yes, and a lot of companies are not implementing strict security measures for protecting the data. So the
Correct.
law has specified certain measures which should be implemented whenever there is a breach of data. the first thing which a company should do is to inform the data subject, and the processor should inform the controller. Processor means a person who's processing your data, and controller means a person, yeah. And the controller must inform the state. But here, since there is no, there is UA data office must be established as per the regulations, which has not been established as of date. So the notification should have, because the law is very in a nascent stage, yeah, and in a very nascent stage, so it has not been established yet. So notification for the data breach must be given to the data subjects and to the UAE data office. And in UAE, it's like this should be done immediately. You should not wait for any timeline, like tomorrow or day after. As soon as you
Absolutely.
come to know about the data breach, yeah, a notification must be given, and the notification should state how this data incident has occurred, and what measures are you taking to mitigate the risk, and what security measures are being implemented, so the people whose data is actually hampered know about the protection measures which the company is implementing. In GDPR, there's a timeline of 72 hours. So the notification, like there's a max limit of 72 hours. If you delay beyond that, then your notification should specify the details. In CPRA, like California data privacy law, there is the breach notification is approx 15 days, I guess. Yeah. When you speak about children in UAE, they do not have any consolidated. The data protection law doesn't speak anything about the children.
Okay.
Yeah. But I guess in comparison to other laws, like when you speak about civil transactions law, civil code, the person's age for any kind of transaction is 18 years. So any children who's below this age should not ideally consent to any kind of privacy policy or something which is given on the website. GDPR lays down the age. Any child who's below 16 years of age, their parent must give a opt-in option to process their data
Right.
if they are registering on any kind of website. In California, there is also age limit of 16 years. Like below that, the parents should give an opt-in option,
Okay.
and they further have a separate law for children who are below the age of 13 years to 16 years. So below 13 years, there is a separate law which protects the data of children below the age of 13 years. So yeah, there are a lot of differences, but yeah, these are some kind of key differences which I have highlighted.
Okay. So basically, if there is a global company which operates globally, they have to be very careful because every country, every sector has their own data protection laws. So you have to be
Correct.
compliant with all of them. Correct.
Correct,
And that's how
absolutely.
important it is.
We'll cover this point in cross-border transfers, because I'll delve into details, like if you're transferring data into a different country, then what measures you have to take, and what compliances must be measured, must be taken by the company when you transfer data outside the country.
Okay. So, what are the primary legal obligations for businesses regarding the collection, the storage, and the processing of personal data under the current data privacy laws that you have highlighted?
See, the first thing is a business should be very transparent when they are processing the data. It's not that someone has registered on your website and you have their personal details, like their email addresses, phone numbers, or their account details. You don't have the right to use them in a very illegal way, other than for what they have given you their rights. Um, so the first thing which the law, the data privacy law also states that is that consent must be taken from the data subjects, like person who's registering on your website. There should be a privacy notice which should be published on your website, and you must take the consent from the data subjects. How you're going to process the data, how you're going to collect it, for what purposes it will be used, what are their rights under the law. Um, and what will happen if there is a cross border transfer of the data. So the
Correct.
consent is a very essential part. You cannot do any kind you cannot do anything with the data unless consent has been taken, and the consent should be taken in a very clear, concise, and explicit manner. It should not be something that the person who's giving consent doesn't know what it is. So yeah, it should be given in a very clear, concise manner. In You must have seen click wrap agreements, like when you're registering on websites, marketplaces like Amazon and Noon. Generally, once you create an account, there is a click wrap agreement. So that's an
Okay.
electronic transaction, electronic agreement which you are signing when you
Signing.
click
Yes.
that yeah when you click that consent form, where you are agreeing to the privacy policy and the terms and conditions. So the terms and conditions
Many a
cover.
times we don't even go through it. We
Correct.
just
People,
agree.
and people don't even know. They are always in a hurry. Like, seeing such long, lengthy documents, you are like just scroll and
Correct.
finish the transaction, and they do not know what is actually being done to their data and information. What kind of rights do they have to protect their data, and what kind of agreement they are entering into with the company.
Correct.
So then it's very important, for the businesses to maintain, like, the accuracy of the data must be maintained. You should not maintain
Okay.
incomplete data or something like that. Data impact assessments must be carried out. Data privacy impact assessment, that is called, why are you going to process the data? What is the purpose? How will the processing impact the people? And there is a form, how is it going to impact, and what kind of security measures have you implemented to protect the data? How important it is to process, and especially when you are using different technologies for processing the data. Suppose there is a different kind of technology. Especially, I'll tell you an example, like these big marketplaces, they get huge kind of data, and they use this for marketing and other purposes. So they use different kind of platforms for profiling and entering the details, like the cloud-based servers where Excel sheets and charts are maintained, where they send regular emails to customers who have joined the platform.
Yes. Yes.
So when you are these third-party platforms are being joined, you should be very careful. The company should be very careful when they're processing the data through that. So data impact assessment must be carried out by the company to ensure that if they are using any third kind of marketplaces for processing the data, or for uploading the data which they have collected through the platform, is not hampered. It's not that you are uploading your data in any kind of third cloud based software for any kind of purpose, and that's getting hampered. So
All
that
right.
data, you're using a different kind of technology for processing your data, a privacy impact assessment must be carried out. Then security measures must be implemented by the company. Like, a lot of hacking is happening nowadays. You must be aware.
Correct.
Even like
Yes.
banks and reputed banks which are based in UAE are facing this issue. So the most important thing, there should be robust encryption and security measures which must be implemented.
Okay.
They should know, the seriousness. If the data is leaked, then how much a person can suffer. You must have read in news nowadays, like, so many people are losing out so much kind of money. There are OTPs, they are not even receiving OTPs when their data is being leaked, and
Correct.
all their hard earned money is being washed out from their bank accounts.
Yeah.
So the security measures which the or kind of organizations, especially who are collecting personal data or financial data of the data subject of the individuals who are residing here, they must be very
Correct. That is
careful.
the result of data breach.
Yeah, correct, absolutely. I'll give you
Yes.
practical examples as well, because I'm dealing with some cases, how things are happening. So came into a very serious case which came to my, for a large organization which I was dealing into. So they signed a data agreement with a company,
Okay.
where took charge of processing and collecting every kind of data for them. And since they had, and this company was, the transactions which this company was doing was huge in numbers. Okay, and it was very confidential. So this company who had actually signed the data agreement with them did not have that kind of manpower and resources to do this work. So what they did, they subcontracted this work to a cloud-based company, international renowned company, which whom they signed this contract to do this processing work. And when this company was carrying out processing of data, processing is mean, you compile and you do profiling and everything. And so when this processing was being carried out, there was some hacking which was done on the server. And the hacker, they requested, like, they asked the company for a ransom payment of millions. Otherwise they will leak this data in public, and it's a dispute which I have handled myself. So at that time we were not in a scenario actually to understand what they have to be done. So what that company did, they published they gave us a data breach notification, since they were the processors and we were the controllers. Controller, I'll
Correct.
give a difference well, processor is a person who's processing the data for you, and controller
Correct.
is a person who's handling the data,
Hmm.
who's in control of the data and who's responsible for the data.
Correct.
So they give us a notification. Now the issue has arisen, like the company which signed the agreement with our clients were the controllers. They are requesting for, they had to go and pay this money to the ransomware people who are asking, like who did the hacking, like in millions they had to pay this amount, because otherwise the data would have been breached, and
Yes.
people, yeah, it would have been, easily, because they were literally threatening them on that. So yeah, threatening them, otherwise they will leak the data. They were given a very short time frame actually to come into it. So there was a very bad incident which occurred with them. So now this company, which has actually, whose data was compromised, is warning us, like threatening us that they will file suit for damages because of this. So this can go into civil, and the damages can be claimed for millions of dirhams, because each transaction was huge. So this
Yes.
is, this each transaction was huge. So actually these companies and marketplaces and even startups who are collecting the data should actually understand the importance. It's not that you're just doing the work, and it's not just about generating business. It's about the implications which your business will have, legal implication, financial implications which you will face. There are criminal and civil actions also which can be taken against the company who are breaching the data. There are, as per the law, the damages are not defined. The law is pretty new, like UAE law. The damages and punitive administrative penalties are not defined, and the procedure where the data breach and everything should be done. That has, this will be defined into executive regulations, which will come into effect. But the law is defining what people can do whose data has been breached. They can approach cybercrime department, which states, anything which has been compromised over internet and security through the internet, a cyber crime can be, case can be instituted against them. Or you can approach a public prosecutor, like police department, where this breach has actually occurred, or where the person who has done the breach, resides. These are the key considerations when you register a criminal case, when a data breach has occurred, and the fine
But
can go, yeah.
no, I'm just saying that I feel that companies are still not very serious about these data protection laws because, um, sometime back I think even Facebook had a data breach, and again that was huge amount of data that was leaked. So for a social media platform which is so popular and where so many people have their accounts, if they were not complying to data protection laws and they were not safeguarding their data, I think it's something which is very, very crucial. And as you mentioned even earlier, that sometimes we ourselves, as users, are not aware about what kind of rights a person has towards their data, or what kind of rights are we assigning to the company when we give the consent form. So I think that awareness again is something that is really important.
Yes, absolutely. Because we are always in a hurry, and we think like, what will happen? We are just giving email addresses, and we sign up on all platforms without actually thinking what will be the after implications, and what kind of rights we are giving to the company to use our credentials. And this is very crucial when we are uploading our financial details like credit cards. There are huge marketplaces I'm not naming here, where I've even heard that the data of whatever credit cards we're uploading when we are purchasing through their platforms, uh, they are be getting compromised, and people are losing all their amounts, because they have, because they've used that credit card for that. So you should be very careful when you use your credit card on marketplaces which are relatively new and which do not have any credibility, because tomorrow if you lose anything, going into litigation and filing cases will take a pretty long time, and
Yes.
it is not that easy as well for recovering that kind of money which you lose this. So I always advise my clients that you should have a separate card in a bank where you have a small amount of money, like it's in hundreds of dirhams, not thousands, or your salary should not be credited there, or your main business profits should not be reflected in that. Do not use one card for everything in all marketplaces for swapping everywhere, because where data will be compromised, you never know, and you will lose all kind of hard money you bond. So keep a small card where a small amount of money is kept, which you can use for daily expenses and which you upload for shopping on third party marketplaces. So if you lose anything, there's nothing much to worry about because it's a small amount and not impact you that much.
Absolutely. And this can go for any individual, not only
Yeah,
business people.
absolutely. Yeah. There are so many incidents actually happening nowadays where people are giving OTPs. There it's not company's fault when you are giving someone the right, because OTP is given to you because you are giving consent to that company to use that kind of data. So yeah, if you are not that awareness is not there, legal awareness is not there, financial awareness is not there, then the companies are not to be blamed for that. So the person data subject, the person consumers are also to be equally aware. They should be equally aware about the law, and the companies should also be aware about their obligations, and people who are registering on these platforms should also be aware, like how if they receive, if the amount is getting deducted and what are the implications, and if they're giving their OTP to any third parties without knowing the credibility, then there is nothing to cry about once you lose their money if you do
Correct.
not. So you should be aware what is happening, recently. And there is what we say, a very important thing which we say, excuse of not knowing the law is, there is no excuse that you do not know the law. That is not an excuse that I don't know the law. So
Yeah.
if you're violating,
Ignorance is not
yeah. Ignorance of law is not an excuse. So
correct.
that is a very important. So the companies should be very transparent when they are taking data from the people. They should, the consent should be taken from the data subjects, how the processing and collection will happen. Then the accuracy of data must be maintained. There should be data privacy impact assessment must be carried out to understand how the data will be processed and how it will be protected during the processing. Um, then data protection officers should also be appointed by the company where required. The law doesn't
Okay.
specify specific cases, scenarios where it should be appointed, but yes, when the transactions are huge and the confidentiality, you think that it is required, it should be data protection officer must also be appointed by the companies.
Okay.
Then you should be very careful when you're doing cross-border transfers. I'll cover that later, that point. Cross-border transfers, yeah.
Okay. So, as you gave us an example of how the data privacy regulations they are impacting businesses, and what kind of risks are involved, what kind of compliance management is required. Can you give us maybe one or two other examples or case studies so that we get a clear idea of what is the importance, and how the recent updates or the changes in these data privacy regulations have again affected businesses? Sometimes the business may not be aware that there is a new law, there is a new regulation that has come into place. So in that case, how does it affect, and what should be done? Because if I'm talking about maybe an SME, they don't have a compliance officer, they don't have a regulatory body, and any kind of updates, of course ignorance is something that cannot be excused, but still, what kind of impact can it have in terms of your risk management or your business?
See, the impact will be huge. Like I said, ignorance of law is not an excuse. So there will be finance if you fail to, this kind of breach. Suppose it's happened. Startup is growing at a very fast pace, and this kind
Correct.
of breach is happening where your data is getting leaked, and it is affecting a huge bunch of people. Where they come to know about it, and a class action suit is filed. Then the company has to pay a huge amount of money as compensation to the people whose data has been breached and
Okay.
compromised. Apart from that, there will be other criminal cases also which can be filed, against the company because they have failed to implement security measures because of the data getting compromised. So it's very important for the companies. Apart, see, there is nothing which a company, you cannot say that I do not know the law when when the law has been implemented. But as far as I can say, for UAE the law is very new and it's in a very nascent stage, and it is not that rigorous what it is in other countries like Europe, where the law is very stringent and it is it's compliant, too much compliant on people. So the law is very nascent stage. If I say the companies have basic privacy policy and cookie policy, this a lot of marketplaces have, so these are the two things which all companies have, and it's a very basic knowledge which you should have.
Okay, all right. And what are the potential consequences for non compliance with the data privacy laws? And how can a business mitigate these risks?
See, non-potential consequences, as I said, there are civil
Uh,
cases. Like, see, such cases have been already filed in companies against, like Meta, against Facebook. Also has faced such kind of action has also been taken against Facebook, where huge compensation has been claimed. But this compensation was only payable to people who are residing in US. So, even data is breached in UAE, the law which was passed, like the order which was passed, when which I read at that time, was that only people who are residing in US were entitled to compensation when data has been breached. So the first thing which will be, they can claim financial damages can be claimed from the company. Then criminal action can also be taken, where the person who has breached the data will be, there will be an imprisonment of 1 year, and there can be fines of around 150,000 to 1 million also upon the company by the government for breaching the data. So these are the kind of financial consequences and implications which can be imposed upon the company. And then there will be reputational damage as well, because something like this has happened, it spreads with word of mouth, you lose your business and everything. So that these are the kind of, you lose the reputation which you built over the years with one incident which is occurring. You come in the headlines and everywhere, and then whatever business you're gaining with your vendors and everything goes haywire. So there are certain things which the companies should do. There should be enhanced compliance on part of companies. So when they are processing the data, the consent should be taken. So tomorrow, you're not illegally using this data, or there should be explicit consent which is taken from the data subjects. Then there should be proper agreements and policies in place, like data processing agreement, data protection agreement, even agreement with the vendors. If you are subcontracting your work processing work to any third party, there should be separate agreements, and they should be very explicit and compliant as per the law. The privacy notices, cookie policies, everything should be up to date and compliant. You can regularly update it as as the law changes. Then there should be increased accountability on part of the business. They should understand how important it is when you are using someone else's data. Someone is
correct.
have that kind of trust in you, and putting giving that information and everything to you, which is very personal, uh, which includes their date of birth and financial information, their email addresses, like everything which is very personal to them. They are giving that kind of information to you. So the companies, there should be more compliance on part of the companies. There should be enhanced compliance. There should be more accountability, and they should
Okay.
have proper policies and measures in place to ensure that there is no breach. And if the breach is happening, they should give correct kind of notifications as required as per the law. They should appoint a data protection officer where required. They should conduct regular data privacy impact assessments to understand the importance of how the processing will be carried out, and what kind of safeguards will you implement for processing the data. And you should be very careful when doing cross border transfers, and ensure that the country where you're processing your data has the correct those kind of laws which are applicable on your country. And if they do not have that kind of laws, then you should sign separate agreements with the countries, like with the companies with whom you are who will
Dealing with.
process data for you, yeah, with whom you're dealing with. And there should be standard operating clauses which state how the data should be dealt, and that should be compliant as per the law of your country, which is very stringent. So,
Okay.
there should be more compliance. Then there should be regular audits, which the company should have. Should the regular audits should be done by the companies, to understand where the breach can occur, and how they can mitigate these risks, and what has been, what is the scenario, how much data has been collected. So regular compliances have to be done on part of the companies. Yeah, I think if if you take care of all these aspects, then it is much more easier, and you will not
Safeguarding your business. Correct.
and yeah, and of course having a very strong technical team who will put such measures so that tomorrow your data is not breached. Yeah.
So we have a question from one of the viewers who says that encryption is at both sides, but the problem occurs when the data is in the cloud. So as per should be the best practice to preserve and secure the valuable data in the cloud?
See, this is a technical question. Actually, I'm a legal expert. So, encryption or something is something which, I'll have to check with a technical expert as well, and then I'll get back to you. You can surely send me this in your DM. I'll give you a legal and a technical impact, answer for this. That should be combined because this is not something which is related to legal only.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, because of course, when the data is out of the system, then there are also technical measures that are taken up to protect that data in case if there is a breach. So there are laws which are governing the data at both the sides, and then during the data transfer, it's a combination of the legal and the technical aspect.
Correct. Yeah.
So definitely yes. Yes. Um, so the cross border thing that we were talking about, what are the key considerations for businesses when they are transferring the personal data across borders, especially in light of the international data transfer regulations like the GDPR's adequacy standards?
See, the first thing as per the law which you should see is that country should have adequate the data protection law, okay, which is compliant with the law of your country. If the law is not stringent and it's very loose ended, or if they do not have the law which where cross border means a different country where you're transferring your data, where data is getting processed. You're collecting in a different country, but you're processing in a different country. So
All right.
and there's an entity or an organization who's doing this for you. Okay, so you should first see where that organization is located. That country is having a proper data protection law like GDPR. If they do not have such compliant and stringent law, then you should sign separate agreements with those companies which are compliant as
Okay.
per the law where you are operating,
Okay.
and which would state down the details how the data will be protected, how processing will be done, what kind of measures will be taken to mitigate risk and everything. What will happen after the processing has happened. Will you how will you handle the data, because data should not be kept forever. After the processing
Correct.
and the work is completed, you should either delete it or it should be reserved by the controller for a certain period of time. So that
Correct.
time that should be done. And before you actually start cross-border transfer, data privacy impact assessment has to be carried out to understand if the cross-border transfer is required, processing is required in a different country or not, because you're dealing with you're sharing your data in a different country itself. So whether it is required or not, and what kind of risks you will face when you are processing that data, and are you going to protect, and measures you will take if any kind of risk occurs, uh, any kind of incident of data breach occurs, what kind of measures are you taking to mitigate those risks. So, and then the most important of all, before you start these kind of practices, consent must be taken. So
Okay.
yeah, these are the measures you should take. The consent privacy policies should usually include this clause on cross border transfers, where
Correct.
it should state that if the data is being processed in a different country, then you are giving consent for that. So before the privacy policies must have these standard clauses which state about cross border transfers. You should sign separate agreements with these vendors with whom you are with who are processing data on your behalf. You should carry out data privacy impact assessments. You should have a proper data processing officer who's compliant with the law and who's monitoring everything, so that
Absolutely.
everything is done as per the law. Then of course the country where your data is getting processed, they should implement proper security measures so that yeah, there is no leakage of data in that country.
Correct. Correct. So at every stage, you have to keep, everything safeguarded, so that later on you don't run into any kind of risks and compliance issues.
Yes, absolutely. Before the data processing or anything is happening, if you're transferring the data, the first step is you have to carry out data privacy impact assessment. That's a kind of exercise you have to carry out to understand why processing, why are you processing it? What kind
Correct.
of risks are you going to face when you're processing this data? And how are you going to, what measures are you going to take to mitigate that risk? And what will happen after the processing has happened? How long will the data stay? How much data, and only that much data has to be transferred which is required. You should not transfer unnecessary data, and it should be used only for the purpose for which it is transferred. You cannot suppose you're transferring the data should be used only for the purpose for which it is given to you. Cannot, if it is giving only for processing, you are not supposed to sell it or do something else with that data or use for marketing purpose for your own companies. In fact, GDPR also lays down certain provisions which states that your behavior, if you're monitoring someone's behavior, like there's a cookie
Yes.
which is kept on your website which states
Correct.
that which monitors you accept all cookies. People usually accept everything without,
Yes.
or they reject without understanding what the cookie is actually. So it is actually monitoring your behavior. Why have you entered their website? And it
To
checks what
give
kind of
customized shopping experiences, etc.
yeah. So whenever you are clicking on the website on the second time, whatever you have searched for the last time, they will show you the same things. Okay, and then
Absolutely.
yeah. So this is because you have given them the consent, and
Consent.
sometimes they are using your, with the cookies are also using their data for marketing and other purposes. They are, to understand how many customers are coming on the platform. We sign and accept everything without understanding, but there is an implication which is associated with everything.
Correct. So
I'll tell
one
you, for
has to
example,
be well informed.
yeah. See, I'll tell you the data privacy law in UAE. As I said, like it's very at a nascent stage. We are not like Europe, where the compliance is at a very advanced stage. But as soon as the regulations are implemented, I'm sure at which pace UAE is developing, and the number of startups which are coming in the tech sector are increasing day by day. The data centers, there are a lot of data centers which are established in UAE as well, and with time we expect to see more. So the compliance and everything is going to be a major portion, in UAE as well, like how it
Okay.
is in Europe. Yeah.
And how about India? Do you have uh, any kind of such compliance laws or data privacy laws which are as stringent even in India? Anything that you're aware about?
No, I am not dealing. It's been a long time. I'm practicing here only, but yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, lastly, how can businesses effectively incorporate all of these data privacy compliances into their overall risk management and the corporate governance frameworks?
See, the number one thing is that they should understand the law, what it is. If you're not,
Correct.
there should be proper legal framework where you understand the compliance and everything, that where consents are required, and what kind of compliances you should do. So there should be a proper legal framework which the companies must establish, considering new law which has come into force. Um, the second thing is that they should appoint a data protection officer. If they think that they cannot do such kind of processing or something like that, they should consult a lawyer who is practicing in that area, who will advise them what kind of policies, agreements are required, when they're transferring and the data and dealing with this kind of data. So the proper policies and frameworks must be established. There should be regular training which should be given to the employees of the company, how to handle the data who are in this sector, for in the tech sector, who are managing the data for the company. So regular training and monitoring must be given to them as per the recent law and updates and regulations which are coming into effect. And then the important part is, you have to take the measures whatever required as per the law. Regular audits and compliances must be done. Regular audits is a very important thing which large tech sectors, much startups who are dealing with tech in tech area must look out into. So regular audits and compliances must be a essential part of their routine.
Okay. Right. So, thank you so much, Suman, for this very, very informative session. I think the crux is that one has to be very, very particular when it comes to data privacy and handling of data, consumer data. And I think from what you said, both ends, even the consumer needs to be well informed and well researched as to what we are giving a consent to, without just blindly, sharing your data everywhere. And even for businesses, to safeguard the consumer data, I think the cross border transaction that you told us about, where the processing is happening at a different country, so that again, what all risks are involved, and how a company has to be absolutely safeguarded from all ends, so that later on there are no charges, criminal or legality issues that they can run into. So thank you so much for enlightening us on all of these legal aspects.
Thank you so much, Farida, for actually giving me this opportunity and giving me a chance to speak on your platform. If any people who have attended this event today, if they are interested to know any further information or something like that, they can of course approach us, approach me, and I'll be happy to guide them further.
Thank you so much. And I think, yes, a lot of startups might be interested, because everybody wants to be safeguarded and, avoid any kind of legalities. So, thank you so much for being there and for sharing all of this information. So, after all, in closing, navigating the data privacy laws from a very legal perspective requires, as you heard, vigilance, expertise, and a proactive approach. As we continue to adapt to an increasingly digital world, understanding and complying with these laws is essential to safeguard privacy rights and mitigating risks. Let's stay informed, stay compliant, and continue to prioritize data privacy in all endeavors. Together, we can navigate this complex terrain with diligence and integrity. Once again, thank you, everyone. Have a nice weekend. Bye bye.
Thank you.